I believe in a lot of simplicity. It makes things easier. You are able to crack down most of the concepts, and sometimes the concepts are so overwrapped with a lot of stuff that you tend to miss out the basic core principles. And when you are in touch with the basic core principles, everything becomes very easy. Though at times it may seem difficult to understand, grasp, adjust, or even trust. What I'm trying to focus today is about navigating waves. Why do I say navigating waves? Because navigation would mean being in the present. Most of the times, what we see is waves and great projections with Fibonacci. One is this, two is this, from 2, 3, 1.618. Sometimes it might turn out to 2.618. Third is high, and fifth is subdued. Now, all this trying to arrive at targets and then waiting for that particular value, that the target as per Fibonacci is so and so. That's living in the future. Now, this is what I'm trying to cut out. We have to live in the present. And that is why wave navigation is important. Now, what do we do when we do wave navigation? How do we navigate that? One side you have the Fibonacci target, you don't know whether it is going to be achieved or not. And the other side, what it may happen is that it may just fall short of the target that we are projecting it. So therefore, this is what my problem used to be always. And probably it is written somewhere and I discovered it later on, or I never discovered it. But then when I was practicing, and normally when we are in the markets and seeing charts for so much of time around during the market 6 hours, you realize where exactly the core principles are. And you find that, no, it's not like that, it's like this. As a result, I tried to pick up on some of the words, most concepts used it, spoke about, but probably never discovered or highlighted how to navigate that. So I tried to do that. I did it very successfully. Probably now I may have stopped the most talked about wave theory since last 2 decades, I would say. And now it is more of a second side of me which navigates the waves. And most who have done the internships probably know how I do that. So today we will focus on navigating waves. And navigating waves would mean tracking ascending and descending waves. We have to identify what is ascending waves and descending waves. In this ascending and descending waves, in it also lies the entry and exits. In it also lies the trend change. In it also lies the making of an impulse. And if you know how an impulse occurs, probably you will know later on as I come to the end that there are some hidden impulses also. And when are they known to us? Either they are known to us just before the close of the session or next day. Up. So, wave simplicity core aspects that make navigating wave flow simple. First, you must know the overlap. Then what is no overlap? Ascending probably you know, descending probably you know. But overlap and no overlap, I wouldn't know, because most of the images which you would see is with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the wave. and you see the wave, and then you see the various other waves, expanding triangle, contracting triangle, zigzag wave, diagonals, harmonic patterns, etc. They are more in the overlapping waves type. Now I'm trying to put everything in a very simple language. I don't want to use any jargon here, and mostly I will not also. But when we talk about overlap, we are talking about the weakness of the wave. When waves overlap, they are weak. They don't have momentum. And when the waves are no overlapping, they never overlap, like what they show, the waves that they show in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those waves always are never shown overlapping. So here is how I put across things. We have an ascending type here. We have a descending type here. In ascending 2, there is an overlap wave. Here, the wave higher high, but higher low. But here the higher low is above the high of the previous. The higher low is above the higher high of the previous. These are no overlapping waves. And these are the overlapping waves. Now, these waves are weak. They generally come when you have a fall and then like this. This is where these waves, you will see them. And this, I think, is the classic condition which everybody talks about. The unique aspect of this is the no overlap part. You must see this. Even if it is written 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, they are no overlapping. And once the overlap occurs, which is what the corrective wave starts. In a very simple language, I'm saying, I don't want to use some of the words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is okay. Then as this higher low enters below this higher high in this way, the weakness starts. And what happens if it doesn't do even after 5? Then there are a lot of case studies. They will call it extension, etc., etc. But I believe that all this is not required. You keep continuing with the wave. I would say, I don't mind even say 5, 7, 9. Why even number it? Because numbering doesn't solve my problem. It actually adds into my problem. We all think that 5 हो गया मतलब अभी खत्म हो गया. बहुत से बार तो नहीं होता है. If you see intraday waves, 5 क्या 7 भी आता है और एक momentum आता है. So therefore the control point here is the no overlap. If the no overlap continues, you can continue to stay in momentum. You don't have to worry about numbering the wave. Most of the time you number it and you think that's the end. And the wave still keeps going on. Now that creates a problem. The numbering also creates a problem. Therefore, the best way to navigate is here. See the no overlap, see the no overlap, and if it's not overlapping, the wave is in full momentum. In the descending also is the same structure. No overlap here. This is lower high. This is again lower high. This lower high doesn't overlap with the higher high here. So there is no overlap here. These are trending momentum waves, this whole waves, and this is sideways. This is typically a sideways kind of structure. Now you can call so many names by this structure, but believe me, all of them are like this only. And I will tell you what is the control point also, how to see them. Here is what the overlap wave is. There's a no overlap. In ascending, there is overlap. There is no overlap. In descending, there is overlap. There is no overlap. So, core aspects overlap. You must know whether the waves are overlapping or not. And the best way to know it is in line chart. Candlestick charts sometimes is like a camouflage to what's happening behind the scene. But when you see the waves, the line charts, there is tremendous clarity achieved. I believe that you must once and always look wave line charts. Why you need candlestick is probably for the entry and the exits. To find the indecision part and the momentum part in a wave. The wave, this may be the wave, but between this, there would be some indecision, then momentum, and then an indecision, then momentum, indecision. So, candlestick to that extent helps us in giving entry exits, but the direction of trade is decided always by the overlapping wave